Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Essential Messages. My name is Bobby Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. Today is a special. I wasn't going to go live today, but I had this really big pull to do this. So the pull was to do with the ambassadors that are guiding us into new earths, into new opportunities, new imaginings. Shifting us into more balance and all of that sort of stuff are really going to be awoken, or not awoken, they're already awoken, really going to be activated to do their job 2024 to 2030, especially 2024 to 2026. This is the breakthrough. This is the big cahoodle of shifting more people. So there's this whole thing that I'm going to speak about, what if you are an ambassador or not. And we are the normal people. We are normal people in this society, but we are different, and we know we are different. And there's a knowing within us that we are different, but also there's a vulnerable position of feeling, well, we're no better than anybody else. And so who are we to think this way about ourselves? That sort of thing happens. My cat is now an ambassador. Hi, Cherie. Well, okay, so I've written down a few things to let us know if you feel that you are this type of personality. And I'm really sure that most people that do watch me, not everyone, but there are quite a few that watch me that are already feeling this pull. And we are situated all over the earth. So we're not born in our soul families. Half of our soul families are actually guides in different dimensional spaces, and we've actually been taught by them how to shed a lot of the human aspects that have kept us limited, the human societal norms that have kept us limited, and brought us back to our true authentic self. So we've been guided by benevolent beings that have stayed on the other side of the coin, not been born here. So there's a lot of vivid dreams that you might have had with those benevolent beings. I'm going to go through point by point, though, because I've written down a couple of things here just a few minutes before I went live. I'm like, quickly write these down. So the first one that I have is intuitive understandings without any other person's advice. And that's because you are guided by your guides. And your guides, because there's nobody else really in your vicinity, in your reality, that could have helped you through a lot or explained a lot of how to move through this life differently, different thinking patterns, not really considered the norm. And you probably pushed many of your family's buttons because you were thinking completely differently and being brought in this reality. You were brought a lot of different ways of coping with things, like cats pushing over your microphones. Hello, Alice. You want to say hello? You say hello? No? Got that grumpy look on her face. I think I'll put it down. Okay, let's get back into this. Okay. Alice, no. Sorry, I had to tell her off. She was digging at the carpet. Not allowed. Right. Let's get back into this. Sorry about the interruption. So you might have known within yourself, I feel like there's all these interruptions today. You might have felt within yourself that you knew specific ways of being able to help the family. I know I did. I literally asked my parents to have meetings once a week to be able to air everybody, child, parents, things out. And they were like, yeah, what? Actually, my dad tried it for about 2 weeks and he just went, "No, I don't like this. It's giving too much power to you kids." Um, but I had a good crack at it because I knew instinctively this is what the family needed. Um, so you might have had these been led by your guides into how to cope or deal with different situations that were not considered the norm. It was like stepping outside the box. Um, what else have I got here? Obviously, there's a feeling of feeling alone because you were born here, situated all over the earth for a specific reason. It's to hold frequency. So we might be alone. We might have been alone. And then as it progressed, many were born in pairs. So over the 2000s and up, there would have been children that were born in pairs. So they at least had each other to bounce off, and very opposite pairs. So one might have been really grounded and one might have been very intuitive, but both very spiritually inclined. But pre-2000, many of us were born singly, they want you to they're taking their hat off for you because they're like, kudos to you for, being that strong and moving through life, feeling very alone and alien. You might have, when you were a child, thought you were an alien, or you're very black, very much the black sheep. Or you might have thought that everyone else is alien and you're the only human, you're the only normal one. Either or, it didn't matter. But always with there would have been a compassion towards others, a compassion towards your outside reality, because you've come from a higher benevolence, a higher place, and so your soul was very linked closely to that compassionate life before this life. So yeah, now that we are strategically placed, though, all over the earth through these times, 2024 to 2026, this is going to be the time where we just go, okay, I know who I am now. I'm going to be me. I've got everything. Now, that's another thing that they were telling me. You should by now, have pretty much what you need to do the work that you need to do in 2024. You would have this, at least they would have guided you to have a strong enough grounding. And you might have just gone through just recently, do I shift out of all this grounding and let it go? It's almost like you've always had a choice to choose what path you're going to take. Nobody is stuck even in a mission. Everyone has choice to take, but most of us that are here for a specific purpose, especially through this awakening, our drive comes from our heart. So we're not going to stop. So it's like whether there's money being gifted to you for the work that you're doing or not, like myself, it doesn't matter. You still do the work. You just keep doing it because you can't not. It's like if you stop the work, there's no point of existence or being here. Literally feels that way. So that's another indication of becoming an ambassador or being an ambassador of the earth. And when we say the word ambassador, it's just because of the sense of being a guide for something new to come into this reality. Even when I say that word, I have this feeling of everyone is one. We're all just as good as one another, but there's a word that needs to be placed with that person that is a guide for others in this next push of helping many more come up and understand their power, that they are the leaders, that they are the guides to their own reality, that they are the ambassadors to their own reality, and what do they really want to create instead of being dictated to by somebody else, that just because they have the money or something, or they've walked all over other people to get where their status was and so forth. But it's because 2024 to 2026, many more are going to come up. So now that even though you were feeling alone, through your life, you might feel a pull to reach out to those that are awakening around you. And so then you might ask for a gathering to be created, or you might join a gathering or something like that. And so that you can share your wisdom that you were taught by your guides that are totally different to what normal society is stating, because it's coming from a high benevolence, and you're starting to trust your heart and your decisions and who you are. So that's another big thing that's happening. Okay, what else? Pushed other people's buttons without trying. Gosh, the amount of times I have pushed people's buttons without trying. I'm like, I'm coming from my heart, and they're just like, why would you say that to me? Or they walk off. They feel in that moment that it's all fine, but then they'll go in their thought patterns and think that I'm just being, too pushy or too something. And so they'll just, next time they see me, they kind of avoid me because they can't handle the truth of what I'm speaking about. And when it actually happens, they usually are like, okay, I see that. And then they'll walk off and start thinking. And their mental thoughts will be like, who does she think she is? That sort of thing. And also because in my reality, I was holding on to specific things that weren't great for myself. In other words, I was saying that to myself. Who do I think I am for speaking the truth, speaking from my heart? And now through 2024 to 2026 and further beyond, we are going to speak the truth with more. This is from my heart, and this is who I am. And you can either handle it or you can't. And I'm not coming from anything to be mean or anything like that. But if I'm pushing your buttons, I want you to look at yourself. There's something there that you need to look at if I'm pushing your buttons, that sort of thing. But now there's no backsies. There's no in my head or in the people that are guiding's head, the ambassadors that are coming, that are moving, that are actually stepping into their empowerment. There's no backsies in their head of, I shouldn't have said that. No, it's more like I've planted a seed. I needed to say that in that moment. I don't feel remorse anymore. So that means it actually gives you more power, because the people that are coming towards you, that you are helping shift their reality. And sometimes, it does feel like you're pushing their buttons. When you're right in their face like that, it has to, that it has to happen. Otherwise, nothing's going to move. Otherwise, they're just going to keep on doing the avoidance or doing the, just going along with the status quo. And yet their heart is asking, like yearning for them to become better, become more open to new realities and that sort of thing, or peace on earth, or wanting to have a beautiful life of adventure or whatever, but they can't kind of get there because they're still moving through the status quo of what everybody else told them life has to be like. So we as guides, as ambassadors, are now going to be coming forward to go, no, if we push your buttons or not, we're not worried about that. We're just going to keep being us and doing us, because just like our guides guided us, we are going to be the guides for the next big lift. So it's going to be them, our guides, plus us. They're not going away. So it's going to be us guides and the new ambassadors of the earth that are coming up, that are going to help shift this reality. So you might have also, they're telling me, you might have also had very strange experiences to do with your mission, to do with your specific mission. And whether that be contact from them, UFO contact, I know that's what I've had, the ability to become telepathic or something like that, the ability to know how to socially organize things in a better dynamic, the ability to see through the holes within businesses, the ability to even ground things on this earth that are abnormal, that sort of thing might have been due to your specific mission. And so you will be pulled into real, well, not remembering that that's what you were taught, and then going aha, having these aha moments of now I know what my mission is. That sort of thing could come into play as well. So you could have seen other people's potentials and took that as face value. That's another thing. So in other words, every time you saw somebody, if you might have thought to yourself, I know their potential. I know who they are. I know their soul. You could see their soul. You could see the beauty in them. But then as you got closer to them, you didn't realize that they had all these blockages and all this hoo-ha that they had been holding on to life after life or whatever. And so then you end up getting hurt by them trying to lash out and protect their protectionness, because they're protecting themselves so much. What happens when we protect ourselves that much? We end up lashing out at others to keep hold of the protection. So you might have ended up having a lot of people that you saw, all different dynamics, people that have got lots of issues to people that have less, and whether they're wealthy or they're very, very poor wouldn't have made any difference to you. The ambassadors don't have any judgment on other people's standards. They just see the soul, and the soul is coming from pure essence of love anyway. But they see more into that than what they do their personalities and the blockages that they hold on to. And we've learned throughout those years that not to take everyone at our face value, which is seeing the soul, to actually get to know people and see where their blockages are first before we jump into relationships with them, friendships with them, businesses with them, that sort of thing. So that's another thing as well, that we're going to have more understanding of ourselves as we're doing this work, because we're going to now be stepping into working with more people, whether that is online or actual physical gatherings, or whether it's being the head of a business, or being in the law enforcement, even they're saying, but then learning to shift it from the inside out. Teachers learning to, like, you might be a teacher and you're helping with the children that's coming up, that sort of thing. Ambassadors can be seen as having many different varying jobs, but all of them will be moving humanity into a better situation, a better dynamic that helps them come more into empowerment, them being more empowered. And each and every one of us, when we are empowered, we're no longer prickly, we're no longer attacking anyone else, and we're also, because we're empowered, we're trusting ourselves, so we can trust ourselves with other people as well. So pushing other people's buttons, and saw others' potential, seeing that one. Took on other people's problems as your own. That could have been another one that you might have got into, like seeing other people and then going, oh, I know how to deal with that, because your guides have taught you how to deal with that. Nobody else did, but your guides did. So you have this kind of opening of, I see that problem in you. I can take that on, and you take on their problems and then you solve them, and thinking that you're going through it again and again. But what you're doing is you're actually meeting other people, and then you're taking on their problems, and then you're clearing it again in yourself. But you're not actually been helping them to clear, unless they actually see you go through it and are there right next to you when you go through it, and see all of the hoo-ha that you've had to go mentally into. So now we're bringing that all forward. Now we're saying, now I know how to help you with your problem. So you could end up being a counselor or something like that. But I know how to help you with your problem. And so that, because my guides taught me, and so you now share that wisdom out to the world. That's another core kind of thing of saying that you're an ambassador of this world. Sorry, there was something coming through then, a vulnerability that I was feeling with that. Interesting. I'm not sure what it was, so I'm going to have to leave that one for now. Had specific knowings to certain subjects that were not considered the norm. So growing up, and I've kind of talked about that already. But yeah, you know things that others don't know about specific subjects. That would be because that is your mission. That's what I talked about just before. Felt a yearning to go home, but didn't know where. So you might have, through one stage of your life, looked up at the stars and gone, UFO, come and take me away off this planet. I know I certainly did. Please come visit me and take me off. And it's so interesting to note that if a UFO actually landed, you probably freak out, just like everybody else did. But there was this yearning to go home because you know that your soul has come straight from somewhere else. It's not from Earth itself, or it's from a higher dimensional space on Earth, one or the other. So you have this yearning to go home, but it's also, they kept that in each of us. That's telling me now that was kept within each of us because we are to ground our home or our benevolence on Earth while we are here. So we had to have that pull to go home. But now we're starting to shift it into, I'm bringing Utopia onto Earth. I'm becoming my own home. And that's what my last channeling was all about, becoming our own home. That's why that's come up just recently, because those that are going to be guiding others are going to start to realize that they are their own home, and their own home is the feelings that they have of, it's hard to describe. It's kind of like a wash of, oh my God, I feel so peaceful and so good. Oh my God, that feeling is just immensely beautiful. That's another reason why a lot of the ones that are guiding are very strong empaths, because they have to keep that level of consciousness, that level of, they're calling it intelligence, empathic intelligence of connection to their past life, so that they can ground it onto this earth and then share it with others to say there is always another way. And it's through our decisions on how we want to feel in ourselves that progress that forward to actually doing action to making it happen on this earth. In other words, they're giving me an example at the moment of, if you were if you had a pull to go home and you had this wash of this beautiful feeling coming over, and then you're like, what would make that feeling be more grounded on this earth? Oh, it would be a home that looked like this. And then you have this kind of visual of a home that you had while you were on another planet, or another dimensional space. And then you're like, okay, now I wonder if I can ground that. I wonder if I can find the builders to actually create that, to actually make it. And then you could be an architect yourself, or you could meet architects or something, and then you have this vision of what the specific building looks like, so that it has conducive yin yang, they're saying conducive energy within it that helps you align with Mother Earth and with benevolent beings. And it's created that way specifically so that you're in a higher vibration. So that's another thing that can come through when you're yearning to go home, and that's what they're talking about, grounding these yearnings so that your utopia becomes. It's kind of like, even just within my YouTube, I keep changing up my lighting because I want it to become more vivid purples and blues and the golden colors and the turquoisey colors, because these are the colors that I remember from my when I was in Pleiades. And so I'm trying to bring them forward, plus greenery and that, to ground it on Earth. And it just gives me a good feeling. So following those good feelings. Hi, Lindy. You might have also had very vivid dreams of others guiding you in through difficult times in the past. So that was your guidance to come to move you through everything. And I think I brought this up at the beginning. And now their guidance is still going to be there whenever you need it, but it's not so much to help you anymore. You should be in a position where you're feeling a lot more stable within yourself now. Okay, it might feel a little shaky at the beginning of 2024 because you stepped up into a new platform of yourself, but it's going to smooth out a lot easier, and more gifts will be coming through as well to help you ground your utopia on earth and meeting the right people to do that. And then they were telling me something else there. So when, you actually listening to them and their guidance is now flipping that side to helping other people. To their guidance might be, okay, this group needs this group needs that, and then you are equal. Never ever see your guidance, the benevolence that are on other dimensional spaces that are your soul family or anything. Never see them as anything more than equal to you, because they are looking to you as to how, because you have the understanding of where these people are coming from. So you can then step forward and say, this is where we're coming from. Even though they're saying you need to implement this, and this, and you'll say, yeah, but I can't do that yet until we've cleared this, and this, because you've gone through it, and they haven't gone through what you've gone through. So they're taking their lead from you just as much as you're taking your lead from them. It's a collaboration or meet of guidance. Where you almost literally sync up and become one with each other, so that you can move through helping the many. And then after that, there's going to be another wave of people waking up, and another wave. So it's not going to be like and the ambassadors of Earth or guides of Earth or whatever you want to call them. It's not going to be like them bringing in new stuff and then shifting the whole wide world, boom, like that. No, it's going to come in stages. So you'll still see others over there that are still caught in the system for the next couple of years, especially, and getting probably even deeper. But sometimes people need to go deeper, or their soul wanted to go to the depths of all of that, so that they could have even more release at the other end of the scale, so that they can have more. And it's kind of like, that's the deeper or darker we go, sometimes there's an advantage of when we ping the other way and we release it all, the euphoric feeling that comes with that is so beautiful for source energy to feel, for you as gods, and you as the God within yourself to feel. And that's an experience in itself. So some people want to go even deeper and darker before they ping the other side. But it is going to be those that you're helping awaken in the next couple of years are going to be helping awakening others and others and others, and all bringing in our piece of the puzzle of who we are as a soul and our soul's journey and all of that sort of stuff. So it's it's pretty cool what's coming through. I really needed to get that message out. So I truly was not going to do a live today. I'm giving myself a little bit of space recently, but this is what's happening. So I'm going with the flow. And that's why nobody kind of knew in the chat bar too, that I was going to go live. What else is happening? Don't be afraid of your ego as well through this. Ego is the logical imprints that you hold on to for personality traits that you are. Embrace them, bring them in. If you say something that's a little egotistical, so be it. You're not supposed to be perfect. So you're supposed to be authentic. There's a difference. Don't try to be perfect, because to, oh, if I'm the guide and I have to say the right thing at the right time and the right blah, blah, blah. No, you're still humbly human as well, because we want that humbleness within the humanity's consciousness to be embraced, so that we can be the childlike innocence that walks this earth as well. But yeah, so allow the ego to just be there. It's okay if you say something egotistical. Just be you. It's okay. Don't judge. They're telling me the worst thing would be, it's not the ego, it's the judging of the ego. It's the judging of our personalities. It's the judging of, that's the thing that's keeping you stuck, more than you just being yourself. And if it's a little bit egotistical, but most of the ones that are holding these, being the guides for the next, they are so aware of their ego. They are so well aware of trying not to be better than anyone else. There's that. So you can't go. That's telling me you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So just be you and stand up for who you are, and be very assertive within who you are and loving who you are in every single freaking moment. It's okay. No one does anything wrong until you tell yourself that you've done something wrong. That's when that wrongness feels, when you feel that wrongness. So, and usually you tell yourself first before someone else comes in your reality to tell you off as well. And then you're like, hang on a sec, I see that reflection. I've been telling myself that I need to shift this, because you're judging yourself by telling yourself off. That was the message that I had to get to before, when I felt vulnerable. That was the message they were trying to tell me before. So that's great that came through. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all for today. I didn't, because I didn't expect to go live. I'm thinking, I'll just do a quick 15-minute chat, but it's ended up being a half an hour chat, right? That's funny, Dylan. I'm too old to be innocent. Love it. Yeah, it's so cool. Okay, I think, is there any more messages just before I sign off here? About new ambassadors coming. Well, not new. I keep saying new. It's because of the new earth, and that's the reason why the new word keeps coming in. They're saying it's a new perspective, a new way of looking at things. If you are watching this in the future and you're like, oh, I mean, in the end, we all become ambassadors of ourselves. We all become the leaders, the guides of our reality, because we start to realize we're the main instigators. Anyway, we're the main denominators of a central point of view. So we are the leader of our own right, of our own world, of whatever. But if you do find yourself watching this and going, ooh, I'm not one of those, then maybe ask the universe to show you where there's a gathering of that kind of like-minded, those people, or somebody that can help. You will find them just mingling in. Usually the ambassadors might start something, they might instigate something, but they are a mingler. They will mingle in with everybody else. And also they're telling me that some people in their right will be leading from what they've learnt in a moment only, and then a moment, and then it's somebody else's turn to come in and be the leader, because they know the rightful answer to that. A true guide, a true leader will always know when to pull back and allow someone else to be standing up and become the leader. That is the true essence of a guide. There's this trust that comes with that. It's not a controlling thing. This isn't anything to do with the past and someone leading and controlling everybody. This is to do with helping others awaken, whether that is that you pull back and allow them to guide for a while or lead for a while, or you become, but there are the specific people that hold, they're telling me hold codes to newnesses that are coming here on Gaia that are very, very relevant for a new structure, a new way of living. And it's very open-minded, a very open-minded place, that they are very open-minded. Okay. I think that that's all that they want to bring through. Yes. So until next time, guys, I'm so happy to do this. I am still putting together another video. Don't forget to look at my video that was all about initiating contact with the Pleiadians. And you can watch that over and over to keep you in the loop of their vibrations so that you can have a link. It's a meditation as well at the end of the message, and where you can do the meditation or not, depending on what where you're at. And also I'm an intuitive counselor, so if anyone wants a one-on-one reading with me, or understanding of more of who they are, or helping to shift your reality into a higher vibration, I'm getting really good rapport from people now that I've been working with over the last year or so, even 2 years, and now they're coming into their beautifulness, and I love that. So I'm so excited to where this is all going to take us as a whole together, because I can see so many more waking up around me, and it's exciting. It's really beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, if you want a one-on-one reading, I'm here. Okay. Until the next time, I think I will leave it here, guys. Love you, love you, love you heaps. And yeah, keep in touch with me. Watch my YouTubes, even the ones in the past. Many of them, you could flick through a lot of my YouTubes and just go, take me to the lesson I need to know now. And it will have something. I mean, the earlier on YouTubes that I did, obviously, I was still learning how to be the producer of them, and I've got better as I've got along. But there's definite strong messages in some of those ones in the past. So you could like just scroll through my YouTubes and then go, take me to the one that I need to watch. There's literally hundreds of messages on my YouTube account. So love you guys heaps for everything that you're doing, and stay in high vibes. Bye.